Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Leilani, and I'm just gonna relay the message today. So, if you're new here, first subscribe, subscribe. Trust me, you won't regret it. Subscribe, comment, like, share, all the things. But I mentioned this before, this channel has been very experimental, and it's also been part of just documenting my journey in sharing and speaking, in really just healing in real time while also sharing knowledge and wisdom that I've learned on my journey that I wish somebody would have told me when I was going through it. So that's what this is right now. But today is just a message of whatever comes out on here. I really am here because of Jesus. Like, I am here because of Jesus. Literally, metaphorically, physically, all the things. I am here because of Jesus. And if you know, you know. So I want to talk to the people who understand that they're on assignment. They already understand that they are on assignment, and I do not need to explain that. In some of my videos, I felt like I had to still kind of adapt my language, but I realized that it's not helping or it's not serving in the best ways because there was still an aspect of me that was dimming down or just not being as transparent. And I also do believe in, the power of language and the power of our words. So, again, it's like we all have different ways of speaking. Like, everyone has their own form of communicating. And sometimes you might, change up certain verbiage or language depending on who you're around because maybe you're more comfortable with somebody. And maybe you're not going to speak the exact same way that you do at work versus how you do at home. Maybe some people do, but most of the time you don't. And this kind of just leads me into the message anyway of like, if you're on assignment right now, you might be confused. You might be confused because most of your life you've had to adapt or you've had to put on some chameleon skin. You've had to be the chameleon. And while that's great, it's great to do that because it allows you to really be around different types of people and really um, in, involve yourself and just immerse yourself in an environment where you can make new connections. You can share what you do and how you do it, and you can do all these things, but at the same time, depending on where you are, you may not really fully embrace the truth, right? So what does that mean? What does that mean and what does that look like? Well, for starters, when you feel yourself holding back, ask yourself, why am I holding back? Is it genuinely because what I'm about to say or about to act on can cause harm or can cause chaos? Or am I holding back because of fear of being misunderstood, being rejected, being judged. So, defining and understanding where those actions are coming from. And with anything that you do, you have to inquire why you're doing the thing that you're doing. And this isn't to say that you're going to be analyzing all day, every day. If you are somebody who is, someone who normally analyzes and is very hyper aware, you probably just naturally tend to do that. But it's not about trying to be in control, because that's another slippery slope. It's not about you trying to control everything and every situation and every connection that is made. It's about discerning who's talking, discerning the voice, and discerning who you decide to listen to. Because when you don't, that's where confusion comes in. That's where the confusion comes in, because you're like, is it me? Is it this? Is it that? Is it God? Like, you don't know, right? You don't know until you know. You don't know until you know. So if you find yourself in somewhat of a pattern, or literally having the exact same situations being played out just with different people or different places, then that's some opportunity for evaluation. That's some opportunity for, kind of analyzing, questioning, right? Anyways, you no longer need to dim those aspects. And I say this to you as much as I say this to myself, because ultimately when you are here on assignment, in order to be in the full essence of your assignment, in order to be truly embodying, right? It's more than just words on a paper. I'm going to say it again. It is more than just words on a paper. And I don't know why I'm getting the example of a resume or of a job application. When you see, for the job application, you might see what is required of a candidate, right? So you'll have the title of the job, and then you'll have the duties of what the job entails, and then you'll have the requirements, right? Or just what do you actually need to know to be in this role? And part of it, right, it's like sometimes you don't have to naturally, know all the things, right? It's actually you are going to grow into that role, right? Because if somebody already had all of the qualifications, then it actually might not be a fit, to be honest. It might not be a fit because several reasons. And this also plays into just dynamics with relationships in general, right? And who you have been assigned to work with, or lead with, or partner with, or create with, right? It depends on the terms and conditions of your assignment in which you may or may not have to have a certain amount of qualities to actually come together. Okay? But if you are seeing this or viewing this on the other side, right, where it's your resume. So your resume is, what is your experience? What is your name? What are the other job titles that you've had, right? And now it's like all of this past experience or even your present experience is a culmination of what you are moving into. So a lot of the times people may be applying for a job because they want to level up, right? Like they either want a job where it's more responsibility. It is maybe newer skill sets that they'll be learning, and it could be a culmination of things, right? But most of the time, that is an aspect of applying for a new job, right? Especially if the intent is for advancement, right? Either financially, intellectually, positionally, it's for advancement. So, and back to the assignment that you came here to do, it's very much the same thing where you have had previous experience, you just don't fully remember it, or maybe you do already remember it. You've had previous experience. You've had previous experience. Now it's a matter of deciding on the job that you want to do. Deciding on that position that you are not just in a way working towards, but the position that you will actually one day be in. Maybe it's not with this job, but if you have your goals, if you have your eyes set on a specific position, that position will be yours. It may take a little longer, you might move somewhere else, or you might completely change your career and go a whole other route and throw that job out the window, or become an entrepreneur. So, I hope somebody understands this. I really hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say here. That if you are on a divine assignment, it's the same thing, you guys. It is the same thing. It's like you're also co-creating this experience. You're co-creating it because maybe your path is to be an anthropologist. Like you have a direct path for anthropology. I don't know why that came up. Maybe someone's into anthropology. You have a direct path into anthropology. You've learned about this since you were like 10 years old. Like you've gone to the camps and you've gone to the conferences and the the internships and whatever and the jobs. Direct path. So is that what you're deciding to do? Is that the path that you're deciding to go? To be, right? Or has something else come up into your current reality where you're beginning to be like, I think I want to do this instead. And I wouldn't even say think, it's like, I meant to do this. I meant to do this. So I know that there's probably there's a lot of layers to this, you guys, because let's face it, we live in a three-dimensional plane, in a three-dimensional world where fear still exists. Physical limitations still exist, right? But God is boundless. God knows no limitations. God knows no limitations because God created it all. God created that path for you. God created that job for you. God created those ideas in your head that are making you question if that's really the path that you want to go down. God had created all of that. He created you, right? So he knows you, like, right? Like he knows what you're thinking before you think it. He is a God that is omnipresent and omnipotent and has created every single thing, any single reality, any single possibility, any single lifestyle, any single characteristic that you want to embody, that you want to live out, anything. He has created it, right? So when you surrender to that, when you surrender to, well, if all of this is created, why not? Why not? And that is why they say walk by faith and not by sight, because if you just strictly depend on what you see on your day-to-day, you know what I mean, you guys? And I know how difficult that can be because it's the ultimate test. If you think about it, it is the ultimate test. How can you trust in something you do not see? Right? But that is when the mystery, and that is when the presence of God overrides anything, right? Like just like touching your hand, even though it may not logically make sense that God is here right now, right? God is here in this present moment. God is here. There's that deeper level of trust, of surrender, right? You might hear that a lot, surrender, like it's real. And it's not, and something that I learned too is that where it can be a little bit confusing, or just there can be some misinterpretation of surrender. When you surrender, it doesn't mean that you are releasing responsibility. When you surrender does not equate irresponsibility. You still need to have responsibility in your life. You have to be responsible for yourself, for your actions, for your life, also for others. If you are responsible for others, that's another layer, right? Surrender does not equate irresponsibility, but it does invite you to trust more. It does invite you to walk by faith. And yeah, that can be scary. It can be scary, but if you're listening to this right now, I can feel that you have had those glimpses already. You have had those moments. You have had those miracles. You have had those experiences that cannot be explained, you know? So trust that more of that will occur in your life. Trust that it'll actually occur at a at a deeper capacity. But as you move forward in your path, remember your foundation. Remember your foundation. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see y'all on the next episode. If you like this episode, if you listened to the entire episode, I really appreciate y'all. I also have a newsletter on Substack called Illuminate with Leilani, which I'll also have that attached in my bio and linked here in the video. And you can follow me on Instagram at iam.leilani. I'm on Threads at iam.leilani. Yep. Love you guys.